folks, how's it going? RedMaster here, and welcome back to the Sort of Cards and Castles, not TV commentary, known combos. Where today we're jumping into a list that I put together thanks to some inspiration from the latest episode of TV commentary. If you guys remember that video, we saw a lot of Dragon Knight bounce, which created a huge little army of mini drakes, or not many, they're actually decently statted, which the player used to push in to win the game. Now, originally, I was inspired to follow a similar pattern of that list, creating a something where we could bounce Dragon Knights repeatedly and send them into battle. However, folks over on my Discord decided to persuade me otherwise, and instead, we went for a Woeten list. Now, originally, I was hesitant, but I kind of realized that I haven't done much with him in quite some time. And that's for good reason. Woeten, obviously not the strongest dragon in the pool. If you take a look at it, after all, it's got a couple of tricky requirements to fill. Well, there's only one requirement, but that is transforming a drake in order to play it. So it really forces you into one strategy, and that is drakes. But it's not exactly hard to pull off. I think he's just a pain in the butt because overall a stat line of 6-3 for 6 gold, especially that late in the game, is what people don't really feel like is worth too much. You definitely need to get some kind of additional power on him, and most decks decide to play Vikings alongside the Woeten in order to provide him with things like maybe ludicrous strength or the sort of big stat lines that can make him a bit healthier. The deck we're going to be showing off to you today does do that, but in slightly different colors than the standard purple and blue. So, without further ado, let's take a look at the deck list for today, Woeten production. Alright folks, and here is the deck list that we're going to be showcasing today. Of course, this one, like we've already mentioned, centers around our big pal Woeten. And the idea is to mix him in with a little bit of synergy he has with the bounce, namely Throne of the Emperor. Now, because you have to transform a drake to play Woeten, what a lot of people overlook is that transform actually carries forth any static stat boosters, such as things like Drain Life or the Throne of the Emperor's 2/2, into Woeten to create a larger dragon for you to utilize. So something like a 6-3 can become an 8-5 alongside the Throne of the Emperor, which is significantly better than the 6-3 stat line. It'll be able to interact more with a lot of the late game units that come out from your opponent. At that base stat line, you're able to trade out with things like Rangers, like Craxai, like Yenaroth, things that you can typically see out there in the metagame will fall to Woeten once you have him running around as a stronger body, an 8-5, a 9-5 with things like Blacksmith, a 9-6 with Armory, things of that nature. So that is the idea. In order to do that, though, we do need a couple of extra tools to get us there. Obviously, we're running a slightly decently sized drake pool. I will admit we're not running all possible drakes in this list here. I think Shadow and Faithful alongside the Dragon Knight, which is a nice bounce target, are more than enough to compile a list of drakes. Stone Drake is a little too late in the game for that to be happening, and while Stone Dragon statue is the same price as Shadow Drake, I think just having the Shadow Drake is more reliable over the Stone Dragon statue. You'll be able to know that the Drake is in the deck. And the Shadow Drake, I think, at best, is the perfect target for Woeten. The stealth that he gets on the initial summon can protect him from burn or targeted removal in order to bring out Woeten the following turn. So maybe something like a quick bounce, get him some additional stat lines, resummon him, and then follow up with the Woeten can create a nice strong body. So prefer definitely Shadow Drake over the Stone Dragon. But I mean, to even bounce back the dragons, we need to run a couple of bounce tools as well. We're just running Vanishing Strike, Shadow Dance, and Shadow Slip as our 3 big bouncers. The Vanish Strike, for obvious reasons, is a 3/3 stat that can probably trade out with something before going back to the hand. That's pretty good there. Also can provide additional castle damage when needed. Shadow Dance is the spell that rebounds or regenerates into your hand as a 0 cost. So essentially 2 bounces in 1. And then you got Shadow Slip, which returns the entire board to your hand, which might not be bad considering that we also have some decent bounce targets aside from the Dragon Knight in here as well. Things like Shaman for draw, things like Hassan City Guard to just multiply into more guards, and alongside Throne of the Emperor, you're creating a nicely sized army of units to even follow up with the Smith and Armory, the standard stuff, to just overwhelm your opponent by big stats and with big Woeten. But you might be wondering, Red, how come we went with Warlocks? Isn't all of the stuff you just mentioned in Ninjas? Couldn't you do this in, you know, the standard blue deck? And I say, yes, you certainly can. However, I decided to go a bit more for control. Things like the Blue Firebolt, the Fear, and the Dragon's Fire are tools that I do think the deck kind of needs to help it reach its goal, to help control what's going on the board, so that way you can safely throw out your Woeten in future turns. Now, obviously, you're not seeing Flamestorm in here. I think Flamestorm does kind of hinder us a little bit here, even though it's great for the Rat matchup. I think Dragon's Fire kind of had you covered on that, but if you want to mix it in, you can certainly do it as well. Or if you think the Warlock package isn't great at all, you could definitely run any other package really in here to fulfill your goal. If you want Pirates for ramp to get Woeten sooner, you can do that. If you just want the classic blue for stat boosters, you can. I just like the red combination because I thought it was cool. Plus, we are trying to kind of recreate what we saw on the TV commentary episode, and our player that we watched did actually run a Warlock variant of a deck. So we're going to try and kind of stick to that, at least for this video. But you could definitely branch out into other things, other faction colors, to kind of boost up your potential in the deck. Oh, and Darkbender too. We do have Darkbender from Warlocks in here, which I think is just an overall fantastic card. But anyway, that is going to do it for the main components of the list. Other things in here are just, you know, generic good stuff here. The Blacksmith Armory, the Lumberjack, the Wizard. I threw in the max amount of Wizards here because I do want, again, that control over the board. Having Wizards in the early game can be very... what's the proper word for this? They can provide a great form of control. They usually scare people from coming in too close, because of course the range unit can bop them from afar and carry on with their day, still, you know, doing their thing. And to have that in the form of just small bodies here, again, furthers the strategy that we want to, which is stall out the game until we can bring out big Woeten, and then just run in big Woeten, and, you know, everything should be fine at that point. So that is, of course, going to do it. I think we've covered just about everything here. The Lumberjack, I think we did. Yeah, the Wizard. The Shaman for additional draw, and again, another nice bounce target there. Darkbender, same as Wizard. The Dragon's Fire, again, for big area burn. We are running 3 Woeten, which may be too much here. I'm kind of still messing around with the numbers here. If you want to limit it down to 2 Woeten and kind of throw in an additional piece of anything else, feel free to do so. But folks, that is of course going to do it for our deck list today. Let's waste no further time and actually get into the games and see what this deck is capable of. Alright folks, game number 1. Kind of had to rush it to anything in a match this fast. Lumberjack? Lumberjack go? Alright, I was not prepared. Needless to say here, as we're doing this part a little separately in the recording process. But you don't need to worry about that. All that matters now is that we got Lumberjack and we're going. Blah, blah, blah. Oh boy. Okay, and this is going to be a bit of an interesting matchup here. Yellow, blue, things that aren't necessarily super strong, but hey, we'll work with it. We'll go ahead and pop the Faithful Drake here, I believe. That seems to be like the play I want to make. And then we'll pass on that. Yeah. This is admittedly the first ranked match of the deck, and usually, as some of you guys know, those are not the most difficult of matches, because they can pair you up with virtually anyone. So, let's see what our opponent's got for us, though. He could go after the Lumberjack here to preserve his Warrior. That would give me the draw, though, which I don't really think he wants. Plus, it kind of opens up his castle. But again, these are all early game moves. Nothing that we should be too concerned with at the moment. But yeah, let's go ahead and power on here. Winds of the Ice Sea. Okay, that's not really a strong use of that card. I mean, yeah, it can do that, but you're not exactly killing off the Drake. Oh, actually, we need to keep a Drake alive now. There is Woeten, after all. Let's just go ahead and fear this back for now. Buy ourselves a draw here. Shadow Slip is a funny way to reinvigorate our Faithful Drake. You know what? I think we'll just get the other Drake out here and try to preserve that one. We are only a few turns away from a Woeten. We do have coin after all, so Woeten can come out later. We want a buff for this, though. I doubt we're going to find the throne. If we find the throne with the next few draws, that'll be absolutely golden. We can do a huge bounce, replay the Drakes, and then transform the Woeten before he comes out. Or power up the Drakes before Woeten comes out to make Woeten stronger. That's the idea. Which, if that's the case, we might actually put this Lumberjack into the Warrior if he runs back out. We'll have to see what else is up our opponent's sleeve here. It's only the early game here. We saw quite an interesting mix of cards here. The Warrior, the Winds of the Icy. Just some interesting choices. But hopefully we do get to show off the damage Woeten can do. Of course, we mentioned before, just a lot of keywords on this guy. The First Strike, the Deflect. So many good things here. So many good things. There's a Master at Arms. That is fine. We do have the Bolt for it. Let's see how he decides to keep going, though. The Warrior's going to come out to block in front. No, it's going to come off to the side here, which is an interesting call. I guess we'll do this. We'll burn. I'm debating on doing a big strike here to get some early damage. We are up against Crusader, so is the damage really worth it? I'm not entirely sure. Probably not. Let's actually just bop the Warrior here to clear it off the board. That way we have our Faithful Drake uncontested. We'll push our Lumberjack in as well. Lumberjack will try to get us a draw to maybe get some kind of throne buff here, but it feels like it's unlikely. I mean, hey, drawing Woeten regardless is pretty good for the deck, but we are up against a matchup that can get things to be pretty strong pretty quickly with a lot of Viking buffs here. Case in point, this Flower Knight does have the potential to do some damage. So, you know what? Let us hit for face. I think that's a given. I think I'm also just going to draw this turn to see what we can get. Oh my lord. Okay. Well, that's a hell of a card. I guess we'll do this for now. I am kind of stall things out a little bit to actually find the throne, but I mean, hey, dual Woeten. We now can afford to just play one of the Wotens. So you know, we have another in the rear view. And a Dragon Knight as well. The Dragon Knight can actually provide Faithful on the same turn. So turn 10, Woeten. It's not too shabby, but again, we'd like that to be a little bit stronger if we could. Hoping that the Lumberjack, though, does pull us something nice here. It will probably be interacting with the Knight of Flowers. Yep, there it goes. So we can pick up... Oh, yes! We can pick up a throne. Alright, you love to see it. And actually, I might... Now, here's the question. Does this... Well, I gotta establish the throne. That is a must here. I think I just try to play this here. So this is gonna do that. Bounce that. Chain damage gets dealt to the... Oh, no. We avoid the chain completely. Oh, we love to see it. And then we can just follow up here with the Faithful Drake. I don't mind pushing in the Shaman. The Shaman is damage. It's not a big deal. What is important, though, is the Woeten coming into play here. We can Woeten this Faithful Drake to create a big, big threat here. Our opponent does go for the Trap, which is interesting. Could be Avalanche. Could be a myriad of things. Okay, make that 2 traps. I I don't necessarily like that there are 2 traps on that, but you know, it is what it is. I am gonna go for a Woeten here just to show you guys. We do maintain an 8-5 stat line, carrying over the said buff from Throne here. So of course, let's go ahead. Don't tell me it's Judgment. Who in their right mind decided to play? I should have just went for the Knight of Flowers. I don't know. Oh my god. I had a sliver of a doubt. But my man is on Eternal Judgment to pop Woeten. I am baby raging right now. That is not okay. Yay. I mean, we're not out of it yet. We do have a couple of good plays, actually. The Dragon Knight Shadow Slips in our hand. The multiple copies of these are actually going to be very, very useful. Let's go ahead and probably pop one of those now, actually. And do this. Shadow Slip all this away. We're going to try and pop into the Knight here. It's probably going to be stat booster, right? Yeah. Yes, sir. It is the stat booster. That is fine. What I can do in the meantime is this. We're gonna throw out our Faithful Drake to block here and hope that there isn't a way that he can kill this. There is a way, there's potential, but this also blocks off the Fire Drake, which is pretty good for us since we don't want him doing any sort of nasty chain stuff. He is in Vikings after all. A weird Lightning Blade combination could actually really mess up our temple. There is the Sharpened Swords though, so unfortunately gonna have an out for, oh my lord, another trap. Okie dokie game. Okie dokie. So he is probably going to pop the Faithful here. Again, not a huge deal. Oh, okay. Healing. My man's on all the generic starter cards here. Fantastic. Oh, that's a huge pull, actually. Let's go ahead and do the Shadow Slip. Can get some free guards here. Play Blacksmith as well since it is a free buff. This is going to activate the trap card. Probably another Might. Oh, Deflecting. Can I play around a Deflecting Shield? I think I can, right? Yeah, I can do it. Deflecting Shield, no problem. No problem. Unfortunately, I do have to sack the Dragon Knight in here since we are still looking for the Woeten play in the hand, so annoying, but it'll have to do. And this means our next Woeten will be as strong as the 8-5. Call to War here. Oh, look, guards of his own. Cute. Cute stuff. But we do have to be mindful now that any of these traps he's playing could just be Eternal Judgment, which I gotta say, strange ass call to be doing Judgment here, or a trap-based Viking Crusader, but hey, you do you, man. So let's go ahead, pop this, bring out the Woeten, make him an 8-4. Try to navigate around the guard here, make him think that our Woeten is somewhere else. That's the beauty of Woten's stealth here. You can be a little tricky with him when you first play him if you don't want to attack directly right away. Although he might just be able to sweep and find. And not much good it'll do him, though, since he has to get around the 8 attack. But Question Knight here into the guard. Not sure that was the cleanest trade, but sure. Of course, we do see Hassan City guards mobilizing a bit here. That is going to be annoying. They do provide a decent castle block for him. If he knows where to put it, that is not where you need to put it. Oh, I mean, yeah, that is something here. Oh. That is funny, but is it worth it? I don't really feel like it is it? I mean, we're still gonna play the Shadow Drake regardless. I think we'll just leave the Shadow Drake here as a blocker. We could Shadow Slip if we think things are bad, but this should be the end of the game. I mean, it should have been over much sooner, but, you know, Eternal Judgment exists as a card. All right, Ludicrous Strength, Spear Strike, all cool things, but they're not going to get around the... Yeah, this is an awkward situation. Moving the guard a little too close here to the sun. That is fine. Priest, sure. Notice that he's avoiding the Woeten. He has no way of really popping it at all. The most he'll be able to do is probably, what, a bit of damage next turn. That's not a huge deal. Let's see. Oh, and Dragon's Fire. That is a fine pull. Unfortunately, we can't really do much beyond this. We're going to sink the Woeten in the back here and pass. He needs a big hassle heal to really save himself. I don't want to do the Shadow Slip because that'll just bring back the Woeten. We'll put the blacks with that in front here. I think this should be the end of the game. Drawing 2 cards here. It has to be a heal for the castle or something to keep it alive, as well as something to take out of our Woeten in the back here. He can reduce the attack, which, okay, he's committing to. So, does he have something big enough to pop the Woeten? Monk is not that thing. Neither is Earth Knight. So, yeah, this looks like game number 1 will be ours for the taking. We did it with Woeten, but not the Woeten I would have liked to do it with. But hey, I can't be nitpicky about that. Yeah, let's just end it. I mean, I could go ahead and further demonstrate the combo here, but I think you guys get the idea. We can use the thrones here, returning back everything, and creating an ultimately stronger Woeten for the game, for us for the rest of the game, I should say. And yeah, match number 1. I'm gonna pick up a win here. A little flustering. I think we were a little rushed on the mulligan, and again, Judgment is a hell of a card apparently. But let's go ahead and continue on. Let's get another game in and see if we can't do something similar. All right, jumping into our next matchup here. It's a bit of a rough opener, honestly. I'm not really liking it. This isn't looking too promising. I mean, we have a curve. We have a curve. We can't be mad. But we do ideally want to see things like the throne start getting us going here. Because, of course, one of the big flaws of this deck is just that it needs additional time to really set up. You need the throne, need the bounces, need to kind of get everything in place here. And if your opponent starts hitting you hard and fast from the get-go here, like our opponent might be doing at this point, it's not going to be great for us. So we get some draw off the Lumberjack. We'll take some damage. We'll do a second Rider. Lovely. I'm so here for the no interaction matchup. For some reason. We have to face again. The umpteenth time on our CNC lifetime. Castle? No. We don't get that. Okay. No, that's unfortunate. But here we are. And we desynced. Another lovely element that we have to deal with here. See if we can go ahead and fix that real quick. Okay, yeah, desynced here, so we can redo it. Didn't lose any progress though, which is great. Game will still continue as it normally would. Into the Dark Bender now. I guess I can try to put the Shadow Drake here, and like you can get rid of it here. We have the Fear Blacksmith combination in hand to actually remove the Dark Bender, so not too upset about that. We just hope that we don't have to draw a Woeten now, because well, actually no, we have Dragon Knight. That's fine. We have Woeten material. But yeah, ideally he's probably gonna. Oh no, he doesn't. No, don't do that. No. Dumb. All right. Well, let's go ahead and do a thing anyway. Get the wizard out as well. Pass. That's annoying. I mean, you had a feeling that the Dark Bender was going to move around here. I would have hoped that he could have just thrown something else to block, but that is just smart play against the Shadow Drake in general. You can't be upset about that. There's the Disintegrate and the Flamestorm combination here. Annoying. Annoying for sure. Into another weird play here. I guess I can hit the books. There's not really much else I'm doing with it. We'll also do this in the meantime. I want to see if he takes the bait with the Dark Bender. Okay, fears the faithful back. Cycling on his own terms, I guess. Into Flux. Alright. Interesting pull there. He might actually... Nope. Okay. I thought he was going to burn off the Dragon Knight. Was not going to do that. That is a hell of a pull. Ooh, there's a Woeten as well. I don't think I want to lose the Dragon Knight, so we're going to do that for now. We'll see if he decides to get a little aggressive here with the Dark Bender. Again, kind of just keeping this slightly out of range. Dark Bender's pushed back, so he has to do something with this. I've already used a lot of fear, so he's probably not thinking we have any in hand despite having the third. We do have a Woeten for turn 8. And this is actually a decent matchup for it because, of course, spells don't work too well unless they're big areas. Things like Dragon's Fire, which, you know, is gross, but we can live. Okay, another Flux. Gross. Not much I can do about that right now. Would like to draw a blue Firebolt for that. Oh, no, we don't. No, we do draw something decent, though. The Armory is a decent card here. I'm going to follow up with the Shadow Drake here as well. This is going to try and bait the Darkbender to come in and take out the Faithful Drake and thereby getting the Woeten in for some big damage. But let's see how he decides to handle this here. Because he also doesn't know where the Shadow Drake is unless he decides to do like a big Dragon's Fire, which... I mean, Dragon's Fire here would be fine. I don't know if it accomplishes a lot, though. Again, he's taking the risk with the Darkbender. Lumberjack, so he's going to try and protect it, I guess. He certainly can. He's got the unit potential to do so. Okay, healing Darkbender as well. Not enough. Our baseline Shadow Drake can actually take it out. When there's the Armory, so we do actually have to Woeten now. Woeten is the strat to go for. Although we don't have to use the Fear, which is nice, considering he hasn't blocked it on all angles. So that's cool. Let's just go for it. We'll do it up here. My one concern is that our opponent here is running big units like Kraxus, which at this point, his global game is better than ours, so Kraxus is probably going to be able to kill Krax without any trouble, which is annoying. But let's hope that maybe we can establish a little bit of a stronger board before that happens. Maybe kill off a global or two of his. Or establish a Darkbender of our own. That'd be pretty huge. Swords is... Okay, so Drake trade. Yep. Kind of a rough 2-for-1-ish. Ugh. And Frog Prince. Yeah, that is a way that we can get our guy removed. That is annoying. Annoying stuff. Let's go for the Darkbender here. Follow up with the Guards play. The Dragon's Fire doesn't really end us here because we do have the Darkbender as a recovery tool. It'd suck if that would happen, but there's not much we can do at that point. There's a Mordok. Gross. Although we can take it out with our Dragonite, actually. Be a trade, but hell, it's better than keeping the Mordok on board. Mordok being rude, playing hard to get. Not a fan, necessarily. Okay, and we just flat out retreating the Frog Prince as well. Sure. Sure thing, boss man. There's a bounce. Not exactly what we need here. Ooh, Dragon's Fire is pretty big. We can do this, popping into that, trading in one of the guards here, using the Shadow Dance at this point. I'm just going to pass back at that. Yep, that should be good. Takes away 2 big threats, weakens the Bard to the point where if we pop armor, we pop Bard, effectively nullifying all of his globals, which is fantastic. Mordok Part 2 is not so fantastic. That is annoying, if anything. Also buffed by Swift Judgment. What the hell? Oh, minor spells from Flux. Yeah, I forgot. We've been seeing those a lot this game. Yeah. Not great here. Would love to see... Not that. Not that. Again, a bit of an annoying position for us to be in. An annoying position? Yeah, that's how English goes. I guess what I can do is just pull back the reins a little bit. Kind of establish some additional board presence with the Drakes in case Woeten does show up. At this point, our Darkbender is the huge equalizer in this matchup. We want to keep it alive because it is what's going to be maybe defending against most of his big units. Priest. Okay, so we were going to do a Vanish Strike on Drake maybe, but actually no, it doesn't work. Forgot the math was off. But it's a matter of just waiting to see which side or which party pushes in first. Oh, looks like it's going to be him. Alright, Taria's Files, you rude lad. If I pull my second Dragon's Fire, that'd be huge. Or the Blue Fire, actually. Can I build the Blue Fire? No, not what we need. Shaman Draw? That is a pretty big pull, actually. I'm not gonna lie. We take a little bit of damage on the Darkbender, but that is pretty inconsequential considering how much advantage we are able to push in right now with that. Oh boy. We are on the back end though a little bit because we are on the lower life. That shouldn't be too much of an issue though. Okay, there's Wraith. Doesn't actually kill anything for turn. Kind of sweating this one a little bit here. Lumberjack, okay. So those two combined are going to pop into the Faithful, I imagine. Which again is fine. I think we actually have lethal here if we can't kill all of these. Although one Flamestorm literally turns the entire matchup around. But okay, nope, doesn't have it. So that is probably going to be game at this point. The Vanish Strike on the Shaman comes in. Pop into that. Come back, see if we can draw something else for turn. Shadow Slip. Nope, and it is going to be enough to clean up the game. So in that instance, it's kind of showcasing why the Warlock element is actually more important here. Rather than the typical blue for the static stat buffs. Things like the Dragon's Fire and the Blue Firebolt are, and the Fear actually, are so good that they need to be in the deck to help you control the matchup for what you want to do. But yeah, overall, that is going to do it for the games. I think, folks, now's a good time to close this video, so let's go ahead and do so right now. All right, folks, and with that being said, that is going to, of course, wrap up our video for today. If you guys enjoyed the Woeten production deck list, let me know your thoughts on it by leaving it down in the comments section below. And if you did like the video, be sure to leave a thumbs up, be sure to share with your friends, and be sure to subscribe if you're new or haven't done so already to the channel. I think at the time of recording this, we are just over 20 subs away from reaching the 1K mark, a milestone that's been months in the making at this point. And even though it's the beginning of 2022, I kind of wanted to make it a goal of mine to hit that 1K mark before the new year of 2023. So if you want to help me potentially achieve that goal, subscribing, of course, it's free, no cost to you, and it would really help us out here and help grow the channel as well, which is always very, very cool. But yeah, I think that's going to do it for me for now. And with that being said, until next time, stay gaming.